All right, so this is what we're going to cover today. So why is AI crucial? Again, I was trying to convince myself as I put this conversation together, distinguishing between the hype of AI and real applications and real value. What principles can we apply to find AI integration beneficial? For real-world use cases with results that I'll cover. This presentation has been heavily sanitized, only because GSK is a very conservative company, and we're only allowed to use and say a few things. Hence my disclaimer before. These are just my views, not the views of the company. And any reference that I make are not an endorsement to any third parties. So, sorry, my lawyers made me. And we'll talk about some real world, step-by-step implementation roadmap, risk and mitigation strategy, and then some final thoughts. Again, feel free to interrupt. Just a quick joke in memoriam. Some of you may know Chuck Norris. He just stares at the production line and all the bugs disappear. Those of you who get the reference, if you know, you know. Okay, so with that out of the way. So let's start with the reality that we face, right? So there's more and more regulatory scrutiny, and it's increasing. The supply chains and sometimes can become unpredictable just by nature, right? So we're trying to minimize downtime and manual inspections. So I'm going to let you take a look at that, of those challenges, right? More and more scrutiny, try to minimize downtime. I think we were covering some of that in our panel earlier with Tracy and Matt. So these are the things that go through the mind of our leaders all the time. What's going to cause error in my production line? How can I scale up efficiently, right? What are the methods that I need to use to avoid errors or reduce the number of them? So in all these three cases, you can apply AI at various levels and come up with actually interesting bottom lines. So this is one thing that came out to my mind was, how do we separate this AI hype versus the real actionable use, right? So people might say, well, AI is just going to replace QA, right? What's the use for QA? You just give a document and let AI go through it, and it's going to find you all the errors and all the mistakes, all the gaps, and all the issues. Well, yes and no. To some extent, yes. But also, as we were saying earlier, it might actually raise more kappas, because now that you've opened that Pandora box, AI went through all your documents and everything you've done, and guess what? You have 5 new kappas now that you're going to have to deal with, right? Because you didn't realize those were problems until you let AI go through that. Fully autonomous manufacturing, yes and no, right? You can't have a bot produce your drug. You know, this is never going to happen. In the next slide, actually, we're going to talk about human in the loop. This is extremely critical. Having generic AI chatbots for GXP decisions, probably not, right? However, you can have natural language processing for all of your documents. I know some of you who have been in the business, just like GSK, for a number of decades, you've produced tremendous amounts of documentation. So yes, having an AI injected in there might be interesting to use. Any questions so far? Okay. All right. So in these 6 quadrants, I put together. This is the big question, really. It's how do we integrate AI into existing workflows without risking compliance? Again, as an IT person, I always have the risk and compliance in the back of my head, which is how do we structure life cycle? And this is using, by the way, the FDA draft guidance from 2025, those of you who are interested. And what you need to keep in mind is Alcoa standards, number 1, but number 2, human in the loop, right? So regardless of your desire to implement AI, always keep in mind we're manufacturing drugs for humans. So patience goes before anything you do. This is number 1 goal. At least at GSK, this is one of our motto, is do what's right for the for the patient. So always remain in control of everything you do. And at every step, data integrity has to be monitored and keep AI safe and effective and compliant. So yeah, I mean, in that first example, you go through risk-based classification, you enable it in your QMS, then you start with a non-critical pilot, so start small, and verify that you're not putting your data integrity at risk, do some cross-functional governance across the different departments, and then some lifecycle management there at the end. Okay, so this is one of our use cases from our plant in Hamilton, Montana. So again, I can't give any specifics as to the software we use. It's actually here on the floor. We use them for sensors. So in manufacturing line, if we detect the movement basically and do some analysis, I'm sure some of you may be familiar with that. And so those sensors are essentially measuring vibration and temperature, etc. So that actually resulted in a downtime, avoiding downtime by 30%. And $150 million basically of savings. And this also met the FDA CGMP requirements there. This is one use case. The second one here is from our plant in Zebulon, the East Coast. And this is for quality inspection. So we use high resolution cameras to do an inspection on the production line, and again do some AI computer vision to ensure real-time inspection and boosting productivity and cutting defects before everything gets packaged and sent out to the patients. So any questions there? It's pretty straightforward. Another use case that's actually not in place yet. This is going to be in place with our state-of-the-art new production in Marietta, Georgia. Using what we call digital twins. I'm sure you probably have heard that. And to adjust dynamically the parameters like the temperature, the pH, etc. And hopefully, basically, the model is telling us that we would end up with a reduction of 20% manufacturing costs. So this is not measured yet, but ambition. And the last one is, again, around anomaly detection. This is at our, let me just look at my notes. This is in our Siena manufacturing in Italy. Where AI continuously scans process data and deviations to catch issues early. This has led to quality costs cut by 14 times compared to what we had before. And basically, we act quickly and we can document that and share with the other sites because we have a manufacturing site in Belgium as well that's going to benefit from those findings. And it's a double-edged sword, right? Because the finding you have for one plant can open the door to another one that wasn't necessarily thinking about that. So you always have to keep in mind the consequences of your findings. Just heads up there. Okay. This is a recommended implementation roadmap. So this is a very practical 5-step roadmap that we can actually follow. With data readiness. This is related to the slide I had before, which is always start with a focused pilot, and then you validate per the FDA risk. So keep it small, and then have some clear human oversight to avoid any AI hallucination issues. And this is how you keep everything compliant and deliver quick wins. Okay. Yeah, I think I covered that already, but hopefully, if anyone is interested, I can share my slides because I see I'm about to run out of time here. Okay, so just to wrap up, when AI is done right, you can definitely cut down time and improve quality and deliver real return on investment results. Make sure you stay compliant. Make sure you have human in the loop. Make sure you start small with a pilot and you can really control it, and avoid scope creep in your AI implementation. And keep in mind, never lose target of who you are manufacturing for, so you don't end up with a disaster. So, or creating more work for yourself, basically. So these are my references if you need them. And thank you for your time.